Yeah, happy New Year to everybody. Um, Looking forward to getting back at it here in the second half, and excited to get up to Harvard on Saturday and compete against, I think a really strong team. I watched their game last night versus Quinnipiac, and was very impressed with a lot of aspects of their team. I think they're strong in goal, really solid on defense, and they created a lot of offense and chances last night against Quinnipiac, and game could have gone either way. So we know we've got a very talented team in front of us that we're going to have to play on Saturday night.
Awesome. All right, we'll open up for questions. As always, if you guys just want to use the raise your hand emoji, and I'll go ahead and call on you. Who wants to start us off? Daniel, go ahead.
Just since we hadn't talked to you from the game, just what did you think of the way you guys played out in Milwaukee and especially in that Wisconsin game?
Yeah, I thought it was obviously a slow start. It was tough. We had to kill 9 minutes in penalties in that first period, I think, or maybe seven in the first period and one early in the second. So we were back on our heels a little bit there, but after after that, I thought we played pretty well. We played a pretty good second period and a great third period. It just unfortunately, it just didn't go our way.
How's Callum doing after missing that game?
Yeah, he's fine. He both he and Ty Musela kid had the stomach bug that we had four kids get it, and unfortunately, two of them were goaltenders. But Tommy stepped in and did a real good job and gave us a chance to win. So we're but both of them, everybody's healthy right now.
So especially Ty, he's good to go after that injury to end the first half.
Yeah, I believe, well, I'll get a double check on that, but I believe he was cleared to play after yesterday. He practiced today.
Adam, we'll jump over to you.
Coach, what is it like when you have that 5 weeks and just the one game and you're trying to work on things, but the only thing you have kind of as a recent memory was that good effort, but it was still a loss against Boston College.
Yeah, I don't think that factors in. We're used to it. Usually you finish, that first weekend in December, sometimes the second weekend. So there's always a little bit of a break, 2 week break, but our kids stayed in shape. We've got great leadership. We came back and I don't think we missed a beat. Like we were a little sloppy in the first period against Alaska, but I was really happy with the way we played to finish that game.
Uh, and then for, around the holidays, what did it look like with practice, letting guys go home and have a chance to reconnect after finals week and all of that?
Yeah, we didn't practice. Like once we played that last game against BC, once the kids were done with their finals, they went home. So our first practice was out in Milwaukee on the 26th.
Great. Thank you.
Laura, we'll go over to you.
Hey coach, how are you?
I'm great, Lori. Yourself?
I'm doing well, thank you. I know last year's game against Harvard was known as the Jake trick. What do you remember just about that game and how it all unfolded? I know you guys scored on like the first shift too.
Yeah, you got a better memory than I do. Some of these games they just keep one after another. But I remember we played pretty well that game. Um, it was at home, and I thought uh, we got off to a great start in that game and played pretty solid. But they're a different team this year. Watching them last night, I thought that Carpa line was really heavy and they were good. Uh, up front, Severo's line is really good. Bar's a experienced defenseman. It's a different team than what we played, who we played last year for sure. And they're getting great goaltending from Charette too.
Yeah. I also just wanted to ask you about your goaltending situation. I know it's kind of been a little chaotic in the first half with, players being unavailable. So what's it like to have all three guys?
You froze up there a little bit, but well, I'm hoping we have all three available for Saturday. So we got one more practice to go, and well, hopefully that's the case. But yeah, we have not had a game yet. I don't think where all three have been available to play. So, but it is what it is. That's why you have three goaltenders. So we're like I said, hopefully for the second half of the year, we'll have the option to play all three the rest of the way.
Mhm. What kind of extra element does that provide in practice, just in terms of competition?
What, having three available?
Yeah, just like in terms of competition, having all three guys available, just in terms of bringing the best out of everyone.
Well, I think more than the competition, I think it's more uh their wear and tear in practice. I think when you have
Mhm.
three goaltenders, one gets a rest, every now and then. When you only have two for practice, it's a lot tougher. So they take a lot of shots, and sometimes it's tougher to really work on your game when you don't get a break and can't take a breather. So that's the most critical element for me, is to be able to have three guys for practice.
Okay. And then just last one for me, who's somebody that you think is, might have had a really good first half, or might have felt like you were just right there, just right there? Who do you think is kind of poised for a really good second half?
I think that a lot of guys could be poised for a good second half, but one guy I thought that really stepped his game up and has become a invaluable piece of our team is Ryan Tattle. I think
Yeah.
uh, it just seems whatever line he's on, that line is going that night, and been really impressed with where his game has come, especially from his freshman year to his junior year. He's taken a huge step.
Thank you.
Is that it?
Go ahead, Andrew.
Yeah, I just wanted to circle back just on that Wisconsin game, just that crazy ending.
Yeah.
Had you ever seen anything like that? And did you end up yeah, I'm not trying to stir anything up, but did you end up getting an explanation on how that went down?
Um, I have seen it, but usually it's a clear breakaway and someone gets tripped and they're going to put a puck in the empty net, or someone throws a stick to keep a puck out of the net. I hadn't seen it in that situation. The referee thought that our guy impeded him enough where he was going to score an empty net goal. I'm not sure I necessarily agree, but doesn't matter. I'm not a referee, and I think there are some people that would argue that, yeah, that should be a goal. It's one of those, Andrew, that I don't think is black and white.
Mhm.
And the most important, I mean, the big piece of it was just unfortunate. The faceoff just went right out that way, and it was a race for the puck. So yeah, it was an unfortunate situation for us, and it's not like it was a referee's decision. He thought that they were going to score a clean goal. I'm not sure I agreed with it, but either way, that didn't cost us a game. There were other areas where we could have been better as well.
Thanks.
Justin, we'll jump over to you.
Thanks, Colin. Hey, Coach. Happy New Year. Good to meet you.
Happy New Year, Justin. I listened to you last night.
Oh, hopefully it didn't hurt your ears too much.
No, it was good.
I'm curious with the Harvard matchup. In the last 3 years, they've kind of become a very different team from when you saw them 2 years ago to last year to this year. What have you seen stylistically from them compared to maybe the 22 game that you expect in the 24 game, or 25 actually?
I don't know. Teddy's pretty, I've known him for a long time, and his teams are always, pretty well disciplined. They're great on the power play, and they want to go out and make plays. And you saw it was a great example was the second goal last night. That was a really nice play that Carpa made to Solvin. Was it Solvi scored the goal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great play, one timer upstairs, short side. So I think that while the personnel has changed, I'm not sure their style of play has changed that much. It's they're going to be a team that's going to come at you in waves, defend hard, and be very good on special teams.
Gotcha. For you guys going into the holiday break, you kind of had those 4 straight real battles with BC and Lowell and those couple games. Did you feel, I mean, it's kind of a silly question, but did you feel like the break was valuable at the time it came because of those 4 games you had going into it?
Yeah, in some aspects, but we were playing pretty well. And when you're playing well, you want to keep playing. So, but overall, I do think it was because we did have a couple guys that were dinged up, and Musilic being one of them. And for them to have some time to heal, that was, I think, valuable for us.
Gotcha. Thanks so much, Coach.
Sure.
Laura, we'll jump back to you.
All right, I have a couple more on Ryan Tattle. I just wanted to make sure everybody else had a chance to jump in. I'm just curious with him. You said that he's taken a huge step from his freshman to his junior year. When do you think he kind of really started to take that step, and what do you think the biggest differences are in his game?
Well, I mean, he hasn't had the easiest road here. His mom passed away his freshman year in the fall. So, I mean, I think that's tough for any kid to navigate, especially traveling 3,000 miles away from home. And he was able to do it. And then I really believe his game started to get better last year, towards the second half of the year. And now this year, he's just become, invaluable on the penalty kill, the power play, face-offs. It was something that I wasn't sure that was going to be a strength of his game, but last year against, I think it was New Hampshire where Shandor got a 5-minute major and got thrown out of the game, and he's one of our best face-off guys. And Ryan had to take crucial face-offs at the end of the game, and he won them. So we knew that he had that ability, and I wasn't sure he did. So that's an area that he takes a lot of pride in. And I think maturity and now feeling comfortable here at UConn and committed to helping our team win, he's just really matured and grown into a great college hockey player.
I was also going to ask you too. I know you bring up his mom, but just kind of in thinking about everything he does off the ice when, score for cancer and all these different events. I know he was just speaking, got a TV station over break. What can you say about just how he kind of gives back to the community?
I think it's fabulous. I think he took a tough situation and he's making the most of it. And they always say in life, it's 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it. And he's a prime example of that. That score for cancer, Hudson Shandor went to the game out in Coquitlam, and he was blown away how successful it was. So I'm hoping it's scalable, and at some point he's able to bring that to a Canucks game because they raised a lot of money and it's for a great cause. So he's a kid, that for me is he does a lot of things. How you do anything is how you do everything. And he does everything he does the right way.
I'm so glad that Hudson was able to go to one of those games. That's awesome that he is supporting his teammate like that. That's really special. Just last one for me on Kai Janvaria. Just what can you say? Kind of what were you obviously you knew he was going to be a good player because you recruited him, but what were you sort of expecting from him coming in, and what have you thought really of the season that he's had so far?
Nothing surprises me because he's one of the few kids that we had on an official visit that he had more questions for the strength coach, the academic woman. Like, he was so dialed in so many different areas besides hockey that I had never seen anything like that. And, I think he had a 3.7 this first semester. He's an excellent student. He's at the rink all the time. He's full of energy. It really has not surprised me that what he's brought to our program. And he's been a really good hockey player for us as well.
Yeah. What have you seen from him on the ice?
Well, he's smart. He's fearless. At his size, he goes back for pucks and he doesn't care who's coming down on him. He's really composed with the puck, and he's an excellent skater. So he's just a guy he's a gamer that loves the puck on his stick in big situations.
Is there a moment that's kind of stuck out from you this year where you're like, ooh, like that was a really good play, or where you're just really impressed by him?
I can't say there's one. I just
Mhm.
think, every game there's a few plays where you notice them. It's
Yeah,
I was watching something the other day and they were talking about young players, and they were saying if you want to be a good player, make sure you get noticed every shift. And he's one of those players that you notice him when he's on the ice.
perfect. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Mike, we'll jump over to you.
Thank you. Hey, Coach. Nice to meet you as well.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, how are you? Just from our standpoint on the other side, when you say, we're playing a UConn hockey, Husky hockey, what does that look like to you?
Oh, I think we're a team that's pressuring in all three zones. We want to apply pressure and skate and compete and and fight for every inch of the ice. So when we're playing really well, we're pressuring the puck in all three zones. And uh, offensively, I know we're playing well if we're getting multiple shot shifts. If we're shooting a puck and retrieving it, if it doesn't go in, and kicking it out and getting it back down, and uh, we're not one and done. When an offense, it's one and done. If you have a rush, you get a shot, but it's going the other way. We don't want to be that type of offense. We want to be one that's has possession in the offensive zone, and we're getting pucks to the net. So, and then defensively, we want to be able to take away time and space. So probably like a lot of other teams, but I don't think it's a revolutionary concept. It's just when we're playing well, that's what we're doing. We're not a team really that's going to trap a whole lot. So we're going to try to apply pressure everywhere.
Awesome. And just one more from me, from a special teams perspective, coming back from the break. As a team, is that one of the toughest things to get back going?
The power play can be, you really, once you get your foundation set with the penalty kill, the kids pretty know what they want to do and how we're going to kill. And power plays, you're either in a 1-3-1 or a spread, or an overload. They're really not that tricky. Like, you've seen them all. You've seen every set. Now, there might be nuances with every power play, and there might be one guy who can really shoot the puck, or you might have one guy who's a great passer that you got to keep an eye on. But overall, penalty kill foundation gets set, and they're pretty good. The power play can be a little different because teams will kill differently, and you want to make sure that you're prepared for that.